So you'll see the very beginning edge of the yarn is that raw edge that's cut. You want to hide that as much as you possibly can once you start working, because this is going to be the very bottom end of your scarf, the way that it hangs down. Even though you're working this way horizontally, once you place the scarf on around your neck, it's going to hang this way, the way the ruffles are made. It's going to hang this way, so that is going to be the very bottom edge that hangs out. So you want to try and hide that as much as you can by folding it under an inch, maybe an inch and a half, something like that. And then even if you don't hide it perfectly, that's okay. You can always go back at the end with a needle and thread and just kind of, tack stitch it up. But the more work you do in the beginning, the less work you'll have to do at the end. I'm using a J hook. You can go, maybe one smaller, one bigger, just depending on what's comfortable for you. But I wouldn't go much smaller than an I, and I wouldn't go much bigger than, a K. But a J seems to be pretty perfect. I've done 10 scarves so far, and I've done them all with a J, and everything looks good so far. So you're going to insert your hook into that, remember that second row of holes. You're not going to work in the very top rectangle-shaped holes. You're going to work in the very first row of honeycomb-shaped holes, which is the physical second row in the yarn. So you insert your hook. Now you want to always skip one hole and work into the next hole. So you insert it into that hole, and that's your yarn over, and then you pull through, and you created one single chain. You can skip 2 holes and work into the third hole if you like, and your rows will be rufflier. There'll be bigger spaces of ruffle. Just keep in mind, as you're working, the more holes you skip, the shorter your scarf is going to end up being. So skip 1, work 1. That's my third single chain, or chain 1, depending on how you look at it. Skip and work into the second one, skip and work into the second one. So I have 5 single chains. It's going to be a little hard to see there. It's kind of a mess when you're first starting out. But there are 5 there, and I'm going to do one more as a turning chain. So I've got 6 stitches across. You may not be able to see it very well, but the stitches do have a V like any other type of yarn. You want to be obviously working under both rows, both sections of the V, just like any other stitch. In the beginning, it is a little bit of a mess. As you work more rows, it'll be cleaner, and you will be able to see it a little bit easier. But that's only maybe the 3rd, 4th row tops. You'll definitely be able to see it a lot easier. The first maybe 2 rows are just what's a little harder to see. So try and get past that. Don't quit first row, second row. If you just work just a little farther past that, then you can see it much easier already. And if you can see, it's already starting to ruffle up a little bit. Just by skipping, 1 hole for each stitch, you're already getting a really ruffled section.